Okay, so we've got a quite a deep dive ahead of us today. You all wanted to hear about Jareau Almeyda, and honestly, it's not hard to see why.
It's really incredible, actually, when you start to look at, uh, well, everything.
It's like, where do you even begin with a story like this? We're talking surviving 9/11, like actually being there, to then getting his PhD and somehow fitting in time to be like a passionate dancer and even write a whole book on raising leaders.
Yeah, you kind of have to stop and think about that for a second.
And we've got excerpts from his 9/11 story, more details about that whole career path, glimpses into his love for dance, and even a peek at his book on raising leaders.
What gets me is how all those things, those pieces of his life come together. It's not just about what he did, it's what it all says about him. His character, values, his drive to, well, make a difference. It all kind of paints a picture.
You're right, it's like each experience kind of fuels the next chapter in his life.
Exactly.
So let's rewind all the way back, September 11th, 2001. Can you even imagine?
I can't even fathom it.
Being 24, just starting your dream job, like you said, 85th floor of the World Trade Center, and then
It's unfathomable.
the unthinkable happens.
Yeah,
And the way Jareau describes it, like he wrote about that day, and it's so vivid.
it's powerful.
The initial confusion, the silence after the impact, the dust cloud like chasing him through the streets.
Reading his words, you can almost feel it, the weight of that day, the chaos, everything.
Oh, absolutely. And he remembers these small details,
It's those details that get you.
like a blind man with his guide dog trying to navigate the stairwell, the exhaustion on the faces of the firefighters, those
Yeah.
details, it makes it real.
It brings it home in a way that like news reports, they just could never do.
Absolutely. And it's in that stairwell, surrounded by all that fear and uncertainty, that he makes a promise to himself
Really makes you think.
to pursue his education, become the best version of himself. That moment, that becomes a turning point in his life, don't you think?
Absolutely, yeah. That promise, made right then and there,
It's incredible
speaks volumes about his character. It would have been so easy to just, I don't know.
to just be completely overwhelmed.
Yeah, to lose sight of your goals, everything. But he finds this strength in it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, though, like, did he always have that in him? Or was it something, I don't know, ignited by that experience?
That's a really good question. Like, do we find our greatest strength in the face of adversity?
Could be.
Speaking of strength, this is where his story takes a bit of a turn.
Hmm.
Did you know that before YouTube even existed, this guy was running a successful dance video website?
Wait, really?
Yeah, we're talking early 2000s, teaching dance moves online, building a community around it, the whole 9 yards.
Now, that's entrepreneurial spirit, I'll tell you that. It wasn't just a hobby either. This was a full-on business.
It speaks to his drive
Yeah, yeah.
and to his creativity, and
Oh.
I don't know, makes you wonder, like, how do you even connect with people like that back then? It was a totally different world.
It's true. And get this, we're not talking about some small-time operation here. This was global. His dance video business took him all over. Japan, Suriname, Curacao, Aruba, you name it. And it wasn't just about teaching steps. It was about fostering those connections, building relationships across cultures, across continents. There are even stories of people meeting through his website, getting married.
Wow. See, that's what I mean.
It's incredible.
It's more than just a passion for him. It was this way to connect, experience different cultures, build something, I don't know.
Build something special.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how that experience shaped his leadership later on.
Oh, absolutely. Broadened his perspective, his ability to adapt, and, gave him an appreciation for diversity. Those are essential for leadership. Don't forget about that promise, though, the one he made on 9/11.
Right. To finish his education.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he didn't just talk about it, he did it.
He really did. A bachelor's, an MBA, and then a PhD in 2020.
That's incredible. Talk about walking the walk, right?
No kidding.
It just goes to show this need for growth, self-improvement. It's a constant in his life. He could have just,
Stop there.
Exactly. But no, he's got to push further, got to keep expanding those horizons. It's really something. Makes you wonder, though, that promise he made, you think it fueled all that?
Makes you think, yeah. Okay, so we've got 9/11 survivor, passionate dancer, dedicated scholar. Now let's talk career, because this man has an impressive resume. We're talking working his way up from business analyst to senior product manager at Kitty, Johnson Controls, Tyco,
It's a really impressive trajectory when you look at it. Problem solving, innovation, bridging that gap between technology and business, every step of the way.
It's really something. So let's break it down. Let's start with Kitty.
Okay.
And just for everyone listening, it's Kitty, and it's kind of a big deal in fire, safety, and security. Jareau, He played a key role in optimizing their business processes, like streamlining operations, making sure everyone's on the same page.
Bringing order to complexity, it's a theme in his life, isn't it?
I was just thinking that.
He takes these challenging environments and just thrives, analyzes, finds what needs improvement, then bam, solutions, making a real impact.
That consultant's mindset.
Exactly.
And speaking of consultant's mindset, that leads us perfectly to his time at Johnson Controls. And for those who don't know, Johnson Controls, they're all about efficiency, homes, workplaces, you name it. Sounds like the perfect fit for someone like Jareau. What was he up to there?
AI and data analytics, that's where he really dove in. He managed the Salesforce Einstein product.
Okay, now you're going to have to explain that one to me.
Think of it like a super-powered AI assistant, but for your business. It looks at all this data, predicts what customers are going to do, automates tasks. It's really something.
See, way over my head. I'm sensing a pattern here, though. Taking on these big challenges, really pushing the limit.
Oh, absolutely. And it's that blend of the tech side with the business sense. Like, he can build these AI models, but he knows how to make them actually work for a business, help people make better decisions.
Makes it make sense, bridges that gap.
Exactly. And before Johnson Controls, Tyco, another global company, digital marketing, analytics. He was mastering data integration, figuring out how to optimize campaigns.
Okay, so we've got optimizing processes at Kidd, then AI at Johnson Controls, then digital marketing at Tyco. It's like he's constantly leveling up, finding new ways to use all those skills he's building.
And he's not just climbing the ladder. He's evolving, always learning and mastering new things. Doesn't shy away from what's new, whether it's tech or skills.
Always adding to the toolbox. And now he's taking all of that and sharing it in his book, Raising Tomorrow's Leaders, The Consultant's Mindset. I love that.
This is where it all comes together, right? It's not just a parenting book.
It's bigger than that.
Oh, yeah. He wants to give the next generation these essential life skills. And I'm not just talking, analytical thinking, problem solving, that kind of thing.
Those are important.
Of course. But he also talks about communication, leadership, relationships.
All through this consultant's mindset. What does that even mean when you're talking about raising kids?
It's about approaching things with curiosity, asking the right questions. Why is this happening? What's the real problem here? And then finding solutions. He argues that those skills, they're not just for work, they're for life.
That's really powerful when you think about it that way. And he even breaks it down for different ages, right?
Exactly. It's practical,
Yeah.
How do you teach your 5-year-old about project management?
I don't know. How do you?
Jareau says, get them involved in planning a family vacation. Simple, but it makes so much sense.
That's brilliant. Okay, so he's lived this incredible life, learned so much, and now he's passing it on. But he's also a dad, right? 2 boys.
That's right. And it's like, it's all connected. He's not just writing about these things. He's living them, showing his kids what it looks like. It makes it real.
It does. And it makes you think that all of it, 9/11, the dance community, his career, it's all led him to this point.
It's like this ripple effect. His experiences shape his work inspires people, and then those lessons get passed down. It's really beautiful.
It is. And it makes you think about what you leave behind, your legacy.
What kind of impact do you want to have? It doesn't have to be huge. It could be as simple as inspiring your kids or helping a coworker, anything. It's about making a difference in whatever way you can.
I like that. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Jareau Almeyda, I got to say, I feel hopeful. He shows us that we can overcome anything. He teaches us to never stop learning, to push ourselves, and to focus on what really matters, making a difference.
It's a great reminder that we all have that potential, even when we don't see it. Sometimes all it takes is one little thing to ignite it.
Jareau's story, it's a call to action for all of us. Embrace those challenges, never stop learning, and get out there and make a difference.
In the end, it's about the lives we touch and what we leave behind.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll leave you with that. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and we'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.